ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. I was born in the darkest ignorance, but my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. नमा ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. जय
जय
श्री
श्री
कृष्णा
कृष्ण चैतन्य
चैतन्य प्रभु
प्रभु
नित्यानंद
नित्यानंद
श्री
श्री
अद्वैत
अद्वैत
गदाधर श्रीवासादि
श्रीवासदि
गौर भक्त वृंदा.
गौरभक्तवृन्दा
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
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 राम
राम
हरे
हरे
राम राम
राम
राम हरे
राम हरे
हरे.
हरे
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
हरे
हरे कृष्णा. हरि बोल मेघना माता जी.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept mine too. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Happy to be back and starting the reading.
Yes, you look refreshed though. So,
Yeah, I needed that. Although I was like still working there, but yeah, it's good to be with the family, anyways.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So today, since we are starting after a long break, so we will recite the Bhagavatam prayers by Srila Sanatan Goswami and read the translations quickly. सर्वशास्त्राब्धिपीयूषा सर्ववैदैकसत्फला सर्वसिद्धान्तरत्नाद्या सर्वलोकैकदृक्प्रदा सर्वभागवता प्राणा श्रीमद्भागवता प्रभो कलिध्वान्तोदितादित्य श्रीकृष्ण परिवर्तिता परमानन्दपाठाय प्रेमवर्षीयक्षरायते सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोऽस्तु मे. मदेकबन्धो मत्सङ्गिन् मद्गुरो मन्महाधना मन्निष्टारकमद्भाग्या मदानन्दा नमोऽस्तु ते. असाधु साधु तादायि अतिनीचोच्चताकरा अनामुञ्चा कदाचिन्मां प्रेमरत्कण्ठयो स्फुरा. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all the Vedic scriptures, O most prominent transcendental fruit of all the Vedas, O you who are enriched with the jewels of all spiritual philosophical conclusions, O you who grant spiritual vision to all the people of the world, O life breath of Vaishnava devotees, O Lord, you are the sun which has arisen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. You are actually Krishna who has returned among us. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss. For your syllables rain pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Krishna. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O giver of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the very fallen, please do not leave me. Please become manifested upon my heart and my throat, accompanied by pure love of Krishna. Hari Bol. Srila Sanatan Goswami ki jai. Okay, so we will continue. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. So here we completed text 11 where Narad Muni is speaking about the transcendental glories of Lord, that when they are spoken, so that place becomes uh, uh, like a very auspicious, and also he is glorifying this transcendental narrations, even though if they are not like in 100% proper perfect language still. So we will read this translation. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literature, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. So, anything related to Krishna is transcendental. It is not to be taken very cheaply, because whatever is connected with Krishna through our consciousness brings very, very auspicious and big effects, right? So we need to be constantly aware and cognizant about Krishna's presence in our life, right? And whatever transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastime, etc. Even like as we speak, this whole what is not connected with Krishna, right? But only our vision is disconnected, or our consciousness is disconnected from Krishna, because this whole material world also belongs to Krishna. He has created everything. We are also part and parcels of Krishna. We belong to him. But when through our mind we don't think like that, when we think separate enjoyment from Krishna, then that's where the problems start. So therefore everything related to Krishna is auspicious, even though it looks imperfect. So text 12, we will read from here. नैष्कर्म्य अपि अच्युत भाववर्जितं न शोभते ज्ञानमलं निरञ्जनं कुतः पुनः शाश्वत अभद्रमीश्वरे न चार्पितं कर्म यद्यपि अकारणं. Naishkarmyam, self-realization, being freed from the reactions of fruitive work. Api, in spite of. Achyuta, the infallible Lord. Bhava, conception. Varjitam, devoid of. Na, does not. Shobhate, look well. Jnanam, transcendental knowledge. Alam, by and by. Niranjanam, free from designations. Kutaha, where is. Punaha, again. Shashvat, always. Abhadram, uncongenial. Ishvare, unto the Lord. Na, not. Cha, and arpitam, offered. Karma, fruitive work. Yad api, what is. Akaranam, not fruitive. Knowledge of self. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of the infallible God. What then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from very beginning and transient by nature if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? So nothing should be disconnected from the Lord, right? So that's the message we learned earlier as well. Purport. As referred to above, not only ordinary literature devoid of transcendental glorification of Lord are condemned, but also Vedic literature and speculation on subject of impersonal Brahman when they are devoid of devotional service. When speculation on the impersonal Brahman is condemned on the above ground, then what to speak of ordinary fruitive work, which is not meant to fulfill the aim of devotional service. Such speculative knowledge and fruitive work cannot lead one to the goal of perfection. Fruitive work, in which almost all people in general are engaged, is always painful either in the beginning or at the end. It can be fruitful only when made subservient to devotional service of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita also it is confirmed that the result of such fruitive work may be offered for the service of the Lord, otherwise it leads to material bondage. We have read this in Bhagavad Gita as well. Yagnartha karmano anyatra loko ayam karma bandhana. So unless it is for the yagna or Lord Vishnu, any karma or any work that we do is becomes a cause of bondage. So Prabhupada went to this extent also. He's used to say that don't even walk across the room if it is not for Krishna, right? So that is the importance of doing everything for pleasure of Krishna. The bona fide enjoyer of fruitive work is the personality of Godhead, and thus when it is engaged for sense gratification of the living beings, it becomes an acute source of trouble, right? So actual supreme enjoyer or actual bhokta. So we read in Bhagavad Gita 5:29 also, bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwara. So Krishna is the ultimate proprietor and enjoyer of all the sacrifices made. But if some person tries to enjoy, that becomes a source of misery for them. So next verse 1:5:13. अथो महाभाग भगवान मोघदृक् शुचिश्रवः सत्यरतो धृतव्रतः कुरुक्रमस्याखिल बंध मुक्तये समाधिनानुस्मरत्वद्विचेष्टितम्. अथो, therefore, Mahabhaga, highly fortunate, Bhavan, yourself, Amoghadrak, the perfect seer, Shuchi, spotless, Shravah, famous, Satyaratah, having taken the vow of truthfulness, Dhratavrataha, fixed in spiritual qualities, Urukramasya, of the one who performs supernatural activities, God, Akhila, universe, Bandha, bondage, Mukhyate, for liberation from, Samadhina, by trance, Anusmara, think repeatedly and then describe them, Tat Vicheshtitam, various pastimes of the Lord. Translation. O Vyasdev, your vision is completely perfect. Your good fame is spotless. You are firm in vow and situated in truthfulness, and thus you can think of the pastime of the Lord in trance for the liberation of people in general from all material bondage. So this is remarkable for me, that how Narad Muni initially also he appreciated Vyasdev and then only told what he thinks, what he saw as the weakness of his work, or the what has not been properly focused in his work. Now also when he is offering a solution, he is again appreciating Vyasdev for his being for his work and for his being who he is, right? He is after all incarnation of Supreme Lord. So that's why he is appreciating completely perfect, your fame is spotless, you are situated in truthfulness. So you can think of pastime of Lord in trance for the liberation of people in general from all material bondage. So Vyasdevan sits in meditation. So since he can look into the past, present, and future, so he can also see the pastimes of the Lord. So now purport. People in general have a taste for literatures by instinct. They want to hear and read from authorities something about the unknown, but their taste is exploited by unfortunate literatures which are full of subject matter for satisfaction of the material senses. Such literatures contain different kinds of mundane poems and philosophical speculations, more or less under the influence of Maya, ending in sense gratification. These literatures, although worthless in the true sense of the term, are variously decorated to attract the attention of less intelligent men. Thus, the attracted living entities are more and more entangled in material bondage without hope of liberation from thousands and thousands of generations. Sri Narad Rishi, being the best among the Vaishnavas, is compassionate towards such unfortunate victims of worthless literature, and thus he advises Sri Vyasdev to compose transcendental literature, which is not only attractive but can also actually bring liberation from all kinds of bondage. Srila Vyasdev, on his representative are qualities or his representatives are qualified because they are rightly trained to see things in true perspective. Srila Vyasdev and his representatives are pure in thought due to their spiritual enlightenment, fixed in their vows due to their devotional service, and determined to deliver the fallen souls rotting in material activities. The fallen souls are very eager to receive novel informations every day, and the transcendentalists like Vyasdev or Narada can supply such eager people in general with unlimited news from the spiritual world. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the material world is only a part of whole creation, and that this earth is only a fragment of the whole material world. There are thousands and thousands of literally men all over the world, and they have created many thousands of literary work for the information of people in general for thousands and thousands of years. Unfortunately, none of them have brought peace and tranquility on the earth. This is due to spiritual vacuum in those literatures. Therefore, the Vedic literatures, especially Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, are specifically recommended to the suffering humanity to bring about the desired effect of liberation from the pangs of material civilization. This is eating the vital part of human energy. The Bhagavad Gita is spoken message of the Lord Himself, recorded by Vyasdev, and the Srimad Bhagavatam is the transcendental narration of the activities of same Lord Krishna, which alone can satisfy the hankering desires of living entity for eternal peace and liberation from miseries. Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, is meant for all living beings all over the universe for total liberation from all kinds of material bondage. Such transcendental narrations of the pastimes of the Lord can be described only by liberated souls like Vyasdev and his bona fide representative, who are completely merged in transcendental loving service of the Lord. Only to such devotee do the pastimes of Lord and their transcendental nature becomes automatically manifest by dint of devotional service. No one else can either know or describe the acts of the Lord, even if they speculate on the subject for many years. The description of the Bhagavatam are so precise and accurate that whatever has been predicted in the great literature about 5,000 years ago is now exactly happening. Therefore, the vision of the author comprehends past, present, and future. Such liberated persons as Vyasdeva has perfect not only by the power of his vision and wisdom, but also in oral reception, in thinking, feeling, and all other sense activities. A liberated person possesses perfect senses, and with perfect senses only can one serve the sense proprietor, Rishikesha, and Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, is the perfect description of all perfect personality of Godhead by the all perfect personality of Srila Vyasdev, the compiler of the Vedas. Wow, long purport. Yeah, so in this purport, actually, Srila Prabhupada is talking about how people are attracted toward mundane literature. Although we also many times think that, oh, same things have been written in Bhagavatam, same things Prabhupada talk about. But actually, because of limited vision, we think like that. But those whose vision has been developed, it is already has touched transcendence, they know that there is unlimited news and very beautiful, wonderful news in spiritual world. So then also Narad Muni expresses to him that many people have written many things, and they have created so much literature, but Vedic literature like Gita and Bhagavatam is like more than 5,000 years ago, but still we read it, discuss it, and we derive a lot of peace and tranquility from these literatures. So therefore um, Bhagavatam is something that is recommended for this time and age, and Bhagavatam is it will it because it talks about the narrations of Krishna's glories. Therefore, it is extremely important and valuable to bring purity in this age and time of Kali Yuga, where everything is very, very miserable and very degraded in values, right? So in Bhagavatam, you are directly seeing the personality of Godhead through every word. So there is no scope of fruitive action or only gnana. There is nothing like that. It is only talking about the glories of the Lord personality of Godhead. Let's move on to next verse. 14. ततो अन्यथा किंचन यद्विवक्षतः ततो अन्यथा किंचन यद्विवक्षतः पृथग्न दृशस्तत्कृतं तरु रूप नामभिः न कर्हिचित् कापि च दुस्थितामति लभेत वाताहतनोरिवास्पदम्. Tatah, from that, anyatha, apart, kinchana, something, yat, whatsoever, vivakshataha, desiring to describe, prathak, separately, drashaha, vision, tatkrata, reactionary to that, rupa, form, namabhi, by names, na karhichit, never, kwapi, any, cha, and dushtita matihi, oscillating mind, uh, labheta, gains, vata ahata, troubled by the wind, now her boat, iva like aspadam, place. Translation. Whatever you desire to describe that is separate in vision from the Lord simply reacts with different forms, names, and results to agitate the mind as the wind agitates a boat which has no resting place. So, as we discussed earlier, also, if our vision or our consciousness is separate from Supreme Lord, it is not aligned with his vision and his consciousness, then that simply reacts with different other different material forms, names, and results, and that agitates our mind as a wind agitates a boat which has no resting place. Okay, so yeah, just read the purport and finish this. Sri Vyasdev is the editor of all description of Vedic literature. And thus, he has described transcendental realization in different ways, namely by fruitive activities, speculative knowledge, mystic power, and devotional service. Besides that, in his various Puranas, he has recommended the worship of so many demigods in different forms and names. The result is that people in general are puzzled how to fix their minds in service of the Lord. They are always disturbed about finding the real path of self-realization. Srila Narada Deva is stressing this particular defect in Vedic literatures compiled by Vyasdev, and thus he is trying to emphasize describing everything in relationship with Supreme Lord and no one else. So I just recently heard in a lecture that we should not criticize the Vedic literature, even it is in the daily, the 10 offenses that we read, that is also mentioned in those 10 offenses that we should never criticize the Vedic literature. So, but Narad Muni looks like he is, saying bad about the Vedic literatures. But that is not the fact. Narad Muni is asking him to make a little bit of, deliberation on this, and and emphasize describing everything in relationship with Supreme Lord and no one else. So Vedic literature is also good because ultimately it connects us with Krishna, but it is a pravrutti process, means indulge and then connect. But when somebody indulges in the sense objects, then he might not connect with Krishna. He can only remain indulged. So there should be a proper way of thinking that everything is coming from Krishna. He is giving me for my enjoyment, acknowledgement. So therefore, I should connect to Krishna first, and that's how everyone connects with Krishna. They eat good prasadam, so they remember Krishna. When they drink water, they remember Krishna, like that, right? So although these things look impersonal, that I am the taste in water, but you can make it personal by your own vision. right? So it's very important what vision do we carry in Krishna consciousness. Srila Narad Deva is stressing this particular defect in Vedic literature compiled by Vyasdeva, and thus he's trying to emphasize describing everything in relationship with the Supreme Lord and no one else. In fact, there is nothing existence except the Lord. The Lord is manifested in different expansions, right? So even we are parts and parcels of the Lord. We need to remember this. He is the root of the complete tree. He is the stomach of complete body. Pouring water on the root is right process to water the tree, as much as feeding the stomach supplies energy to all body. Therefore, Srila Vyasdev should not have compiled any Puranas other than the Bhagavad Purana, because a slight deviation from that may create havoc for self-realization. So, if one author writes two books on the same essence, then people are more prone to interpretations, right? So it may cause havoc in self-realization, because people want something that will entertain them, where they can take shelter, and then they will just forget about it when they feel better, right? So, but Bhagavad Purana is not like that. So he was instructing him that he should create only one Purana which is completely glorifying the Supreme Lord. So there should not be any deviation from that. Then what to speak of deliberate expansion of ideas separate from absolute personality of Godhead? The most effective part of worshipping demigods is that it creates definite conception of pantheism, ending disastrously in many religious sects, detrimental to the progress of principles of Bhagavatam, which alone can give the accurate direction for self-realization in eternal relationship with the personality of Godhead by devotional service in transcendental love. So many people ask this question: why we should worship Krishna? We don't have bhakti for Krishna. We don't rely on Krishna, but we rely on Ganpati, Mahalakshmi, Sai Baba, and all those things, because they prayed to them and they seemingly fulfilled the desires of people, but actually in actuality all these results are given by Krishna only. So we should remember that. Then um, disastrously in many religious sects, detrimental to progress of principles of Bhagavatam, which which alone can give the accurate direction for self-realization in eternal relationship with personality of Godhead by devotional service in transcendental love. The example of the boat disturbed by whirling wind is suitable in this respect. The diverted mind of pantheist can never reach the perfection of self-realization due to the disturbed condition of the selection of object. So when people go and interact with the object, they think that they will get complete enjoyment out of it, but when it doesn't happen, it agitates the mind, right? Therefore uh, we should always read Bhagavatam with a consciousness that we want to connect with Krishna, we want to strengthen our relationship with Krishna, and then Bhagavatam will do its own wonders and magic on us. Okay, so we will stop here. Text 15 we will read next time.
Madhuri, next Tuesday festival, Madhuri.
Yeah, so we will meet on Monday.
Monday. And doing chanting Monday.
Yeah, no problem. You can hear the recording if you want, but I'll have the next reading on Monday. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Panchakalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavane.